Want to plan to escape from prison. He removed a small rope hidden between the teeth to take out a small package that he had hidden in his stomach. It's unbelievable. In the package, there are matches and gasoline. He kindly warned his fellow prisoners next to him that it doesn't hurt at all. Then poured gasoline on the enemy, light matches, and throw them at fellow prisoners. It is this action of the name Black Leather has made the whole plane was in chaos. At the same time, his accomplices also pulled out the iron needle hidden in the palm of his hand, poke into the lock and easily open the gate. The black man received a moment of chaos, took the key of the jailer, and the oligarch unlocked the door. Carefully pull the lever. Immediately, a big guy who plans to wipe it out, throwing punches and kicks continuously to prison guards. Seeing this, the police chief immediately pointed to. We and the others quickly came to the hospital. The big guy was arrested by a large number of prison guards. While about to be overpowered, the black man pulled carefully again, released the iron cage that locked up a man. I rushed straight at the captain. At that moment, the co-pilot took a gun and stuck out, accidentally robbed and killed by mistake. 2 prisoners died. But the enemy is famous for his martial arts. In just a few afternoons, the co-pilot was defeated by the Dukan name. Immediately afterwards, he River and Drowsy, threatening the captain to notify the tower control that everything is fine. In the face of threats, the captain also has no choice, anything other than obedience. Immediately, the Dukan took over all the planes. Welcome to air prisons. The police think that every year, transfer about 155,000 prisoners to be transferred to a place of detention, participate in radiation sessions or medical treatment. Today, this flight is very special. These prisoners will be transferred to a prison in the state of Alabama. And this escort is all extremely aggressive criminal. Most of them were sentenced to imprisonment or the death penalty. All of them are people brutally scattered to the conscience. The name of the child has the pseudonym of the virus. 39 years old, but has been in prison for up to 25 years. But studying made him happy. He has obtained 2 degrees, including a bachelor's degree in law. A total of 11 inmates were killed. Billy's name is anonymous. Crazy murderer. He caught his wife having an affair but had spare her a life, then drove to his father-in-law's house, killed both his family and his dog. Nathan has the nickname Diamond Dog. Is the former leader of a gang, a group of black family refugees. He once blew up the association ministry to the United States. Even wrote a book called Look, People with the Eyes of a Dog in Prison. Johnny 23. The name says it all. He caused 23 intoxications, every red heart on his arm. Self-portrait of a woman. He was determined to get 600 tattoos. But among the prisoners, this heavy capital has a name, unknown Little Carmazon. Mr. Capital is a member of the U.S. Special Forces. Before going to prison, he beat a group of soldiers, poors when they play with their wives. But unfortunately the army was too weak, just a little neglected, but sent off. Always he went to the afterlife. In court, the judge ruled that because Carmazon received military training, his sentence is not the same as, like ordinary people, should be sentenced to 7 to 10 years. In the immediate future, 8 years have passed. Carmazon remains in prison. Discipline and make friends for someone who is a childish face name. Every second and every minute, he always remembers. To his wife and daughter. Finally, on a fateful day, Carmazon had the opportunity to be released on bail, but only because of coincidence. He got on the right flight back, full of heavy prisoners. Looking at the events that are happening in front of you, a person who just wants to live, as stable as Carmazon, were so angry that they gritted their teeth. At this time, Tendercon was commanding the juniors, blinded all the prison guards. Johnny sees the female prison guard being dazzled, cannot be restrained. Want to get an extra heart tattoo, red on his arm. Carmazon is full of righteousness and does not accept this dirty story. He immediately knocked Johnny down on the plane. At that moment, Tendercon also appeared. Hope Johnny mind that now. Important hours, especially to solve the lie in front of him. The aircraft, according to the route, will be downgraded. Wing at Carson to exchange prisons, and there will be 50 guards, armed, waiting at the airport. Just a little feverish. All plans will be washed away. At this time, the the police officer lay down. The zone can no longer be restrained. The dirty guns ask all the prisoners must lay down their weapons and surrender. Carmazon is in such a general position, came forward to advise. Hey, I'm saying, you don't do this. Is it to surrender your own life? Immediately, Tendercon fired a shot. The gun was convenient for the policeman to go on the road. But, thanks to Carmazon's initiative, he received praise from Tendercon. The immediate problem is the prisoners. should have gotten off the plane. And Carson was beaten by the co-pilot, the previous shooting. Tendokan is forced to pick a few prisons to replace them. Facing the opportunity to be reunited with his wife and daughter, Kamazon and his best friend have young faces. I volunteered to participate, but because the co-pilot shot, the prisoner's substance turned white. So Kamazon's best friend was freed from the car rim. As Kamazon nears off the plane, he decided to lie. I'm still 15 years away. I don't want to miss the miss. The association is not blessed. The real reason is that he is worried about the safety of the baby-faced friend. My friend has diabetes and need to inject insulin on time. But in the chaos just now, his syringe was broken. Without Kamazon's help, he is very difficult to survive to the destination. At the same time, Kamazon also wants to help himself. The police saved the situation. Soon the plane landed, wing at Carson Airport. In addition to escorting 6 prisoners, get off the plane. They also need to escort a number of prisoners. Another heavy dollar on this flight. Among them was a man with a bride. And at the same time, the right hand of the name Dukan. This person is very proficient in flying airplanes. As soon as I boarded the plane, he removed the device that the police used to, tracking and giving the name of the black family attached, into a tourist plane. One of the escorted prisoners, and a fearsome one. A person who looks like a serial killer. The series is nicknamed The Massacre. He killed 37 people on the East Bank, and his method of committing the crime are extremely brutal. Meanwhile, the police discovered a fate in the imprisonment of the name Dukan. Investigator Lashin handed out shows that the eyes of the highs, characters on the sea of letters, are deliberately hidden. And when planted on letters, they found out that it turned out to be is related to Carson. At this time, they learned the secret of serious criminals want to escape from prison. Lashin especially reminds colleagues not to be touched by anything, then ran to report the situation himself. But there is a policeman who likes to find his way. The government is not interested in these things. He holds an iron box, side and unfold. Unexpectedly inside, contains cartridge bombs. Remember to listen to the words later. At the same time, prison guards also discovered that prisoners who have just were exchanged and turned out to be serious criminals. The police immediately reported, with superiors and fast, quickly dispatched a large fleet of vehicles to twist it. But it was too late. The plane became full of prisoners. Heavy capital has taken off. Kamazon, after receiving the fall, Tendokan's mission, began to ask about the next plan. As it turned out, when the plane landed in Carson, one of the prisoners on the flight, this is a boy, of a bunch of Mai Thui. The big name is Francois. Tendokan's plan is to bring. He arrived at Lena Airport. Then the cluster name, Mai Thui, will arrange other aircraft to transmit SOCs. Everyone goes. Kamazan couldn't slow down after listening. One more second. He had to quickly find a way to communicate information out. So he took the excuse, checked to enter the warehouse. Here, he discovered the body of the boy, black leather trapped in the wheel. As it turned out, when the plane took off, black guy busy flirting with girls, that is too late. Then he held on to the socks, even to chase but are jammed by the flying wheels. When the name for diamond doesn't pay attention, Kamazan wrote on the corpse. Inform the police of the plane. Will land at Lena Airport. Then he threw the exam. Can go out of the plane. In another place, Laken investigators made an appointment. Wife and daughter of Kamazan. He wanted to know what Kamazan was. What kind of person? Clearly there is a chance to get off the machine, but chose to stay. Kamazan's wife also expressed confusion. Because Kamazan could have waited right away, on bail for 8 years, never failed to remember them. So he must have done so. Surely there is a reason. Laken began to believe that Kamazan is an ally. At this time, Laken received a call from the police announcement that in the city center, there is a body falls. On the close there was a message that the plane will land at Lena Airport. Because of the location of the body, fell completely to the left. The opposite of the location where the scene has not been found. Laken is even more confident in his reasoning. However, the police chief resisted. Mai Tui is angry at not believing Laken's analysis. Decision to fly fighter jets to shoot down the plane. Seeing this, Laken immediately drove the luxury sports car, newly purchased from the sheriff. Duncan arrives at the location. Prisoners on the plane also distributed, revealing the secret of Kamazan. But, as a bunch of Te Sham Lola Tejil, they could not be Kamazan's opponents. After a fight, a prisoner kicked by Kamazan, strong into the steel pipe next to it. Kamazan returned to his seat, with an expression on his forehead. In contrast, the serial killer series bullied him. At this time, the police chief against Mai 2 drive over 300 miles and in, caught up with the delegation's plane, full-level tourism for the elderly. Now he realizes Lakin's analysis is correct. Adjust the flight direction to Lena Airport. Lakin drove quickly to Lena Airport. But when you glance at the turnaround, saw that the entire airport was unoccupied. At this moment, the plane became full of prisons. The heavy capital has just arrived. But due to the lack of buoy from the control tower, the plane was about to collide with an airplane gradually used. Fortunately, finally, they landed safely. The name of the capital immediately let everyone get off the plane to wait for the BOA relay aircraft under the owner's name, Mai Tui Francois arranged. At this time, his best friend has a mirror. Kamazan's childish face, due to long time without insulin injections, has fallen into the state of toy top. Kamazan saw that, so he no longer left. Many more things. He had to find a syringe. But he even found it. Chicken legs and onions. But naturally there were no syringes anywhere. Suddenly, Kamazan is attacked, and also since know the secret of the owner Mai Thui. It turned out that he wasn't at all intends to put all prisoners go but just want to bring, according to his son. When the owner Mai Thui prepares, opened fire on Kamazan, hidden by Lakin from the front, intervened in time. Kamazan saw this and quickly acted quickly. Martial dance knocked down many names. Now, Kamazan and Lakin are holding guns at each other. In this situation, no one can completely trust the other party. Lakin asked Kamazan, "You can obviously be free. Why do you still risk doing these things?" "I can't sacrifice my sexuality." Network of friends. Through this conversation, Lakin was convinced that Kamazan was the Yun, its allies. At the same time, son of the owner Mai Tui Naneti, names of children and people. Others do not pay attention. Sneaking towards the plane, was already hidden to pick him up. When he saw that he was about to put away the nest, successfully escaped. Lakin immediately blocked with steel frame. But the plane is still too fast, crashed into an iron bin next to it. This scene immediately attracted the attention of the whole group of prisoners. At this time, the young man realized that he was taken advantage of by the owner Mai Tui, so he didn't say no, and immediately burned. Lives the son of the owner Mai Tui. But the painting is not single-minded. Currently, what makes the name Du Khan and others are in pain. The first is a special police group, is driving to the destination. The name of the child immediately gathered all the people to plan. First of all, use gas, burning cars, old left to create the explosion, then rely on the terrain of the landfill to borrow. Arrested the approaching special police group. Lakin, after learning the truth, hurriedly notify superiors, ordered the withdrawal of the special police force. But it was too late. With a resounding explosion, the war began. The name of the sun leads everyone. Shoot randomly at the scene group. Special forces without the need for. Maybe it's the enemy. These heavy prisoners don't. Must be easy to deal with. Very quickly captured. Overwhelming superiority. On the other side, Kamazan also found Syringas in Zilin in a car. Abandoned works. To save his good friend. He doesn't care about safety. Crossing the area where the bomb is exploding. Don't forget to use a regular rope to tie the machine. Flew into the stone pillar next to it. Just returned to the plane. Kamazan discovered that Johnny 23 was preparing. Became Johnny 24. Juntu didn't say many words. He immediately grabbed Johnny's head, slammed into the iron fence. After that, Kamazan dazzled him. Kamazan's best friend with a childish face have also been successfully injected with insulin. On the other side, police chief of the anti-squad, Mai Tu Duncan, also led the helicopter team. Armed arrived at the scene. Soon after, the bride who flew the plane was about to flee. But the plane was hit by glare with ordinary wire. Black Dew immediately pulled out his gun and fired continuously. The stone can't stand the strength. This powerful attack. The wire is usually also broken. But, coincidentally, one end of the wire is usually hooked on a sports car hidden in stock. When the plane takes off, the sports car also flew up. "That's your car." "No way. My car is in the office." This scene is indeed very rare and difficult to find. As the aircraft flies over the observation tower, the head of the plane is quoted high. The sports car crashed into the tower and were disassembled. Then the car fell straight down and cracked, shattered. When the license plate is clearly visible, Kamazan realized it was the car, Duncan's newly purchased Sport. On the plane happened too many things like that. Tendo is convinced that there is people inside the machine. They notified the police. All doubts were directed towards Kamazan. He even used the friendship of the female scene to threaten the traitor to stand up. As Kamazan was about to take action, best friend with a childish face have taken responsibility. It's me, seeing my friend. Kamazan couldn't hold back anymore. Completely emotional explosion. In the face of cruel prisoners, Kamazan uses a whistle, knocked down an arrow. Although he was shot in the same arm, he still can't change his face. Immediately unleashed 2 punches. Knock out Karami and go straight towards the steering wheel. Meanwhile, Sheriff Duncan also led. Armed helicopters chased after the button, seeing that they were about to launch a rocket to destroy aircraft. Kamazan called lock-in in time. Request not to shoot. At a critical time, Sheriff Duncan has ordered a ceasefire. At this time, Kamazan took control of the plane. Should have a bride to fly a coordinated plane, with the police preparing to land. But he gave it to Kamazan. Know that one of the plane's engines have failed. Plus the plane flies too fast, so they can't land normally, but can only conduct an emergency landing. Shortly afterwards, the plane crashed into the wing, wrestling eggs and rushing into the streets. The glider is a few long blocks before the end. Also landed successfully, right at the door of the casino. Kamazan has just recovered his spirits, was captured by Tendokan. He was about to shoot. At the decisive moment, the naked wing of the aircraft tore the plane in half. A series of police cars arrived in time. All the hostages were saved. Prisoners were also arrested, and the British, Kamazan's best friend, also survived. When everyone is still breathing, relieved, Kamazan and Jane, Lucky sees Tendokan with Bronze. They are on the run. Immediately they understood each other's driving. Police car and chase. After a while of chasing, Kamazan caught up with the machine, damaged by the bridge. Fire truck ladder crashed into and destroyed. Killed the Diamond Dog. Soon after, Kamazan went solo with Tendokan, with a military background. Kamazan is not an easy person to deal with. He stabbed with a javelin through Tendokan's legs, then quickly climbed into the fire truck. In just a few moves, he managed to control Tendokan, handcuffed him to the fire truck ladder, and pressed the control button up and down. At the same time, Investigator Lacking also climbed fire trucks and pour water into the cockpit. Make the bride's name completely cannot be seen. Making a car just out of the tunnel, they crashed into the overpass. Tendokan was thrown out, fell right into the conveyor belt of the rocky beach. Make the motorcycle fall with stones, which means that Tendokan has also come to the afterlife. Kamazan threw hundreds of sheets. Dollars fly around. Pick up the rabbit toy. He planned to give it to his daughter. After 8 years of separation, he finally met his wife, who he always misses, Nung, and his daughter. Girls have never met. He walks slowly towards them. No words can express it. His mood at the moment. Hello, Kamazan. Hello to you, my dear wife. Going through too many things. All just to see his family again. This moment. All that was hoped for, are all deserved. In the eyes of his wife and daughter, Kamazan was never a prisoner, but a hero in their hearts.
Enjoyed the video? Hit subscribe, drop a like, share with your crew, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk movies.